welcome to Identity Talk with AJ right here. Thank you very much for keeping tuned right here, keeping locked at BTV every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. We are always here to have fun with you, share with you some information, and have these great, amazing conversations with you. There is something I've been arguing with my partner in crime here, Nina, for the entire week. So I want to bring this conversation here with you so that you tell us who is right, who is wrong. What should we go with? What shouldn't we go with? What was this argument about? This argument was about single schools, mixed schools. Single schools are better than mixed schools. Mixed schools are the best. Then we also had international schools are better than our traditional schools. Our traditional schools are the best. What do we go with? So, Nina, which is which? Which one is better?
Okay. Now, it depends on certain things.
Okay, international schools, traditional schools.
International schools, of course, they are on an international level, so they are very good.
Okay, I don't believe they are very good. I believe they are good.
They are
But
good.
also they
Not
also
so
have
very-
some
Of course, just
anything
like
has an
any
advantage
other
and a
thing.
disadvantage. But I believe our traditional schools, me personally, they are better. First of all, morally, the way they bring up like the moral virtues they instill in the child. Number one, international schools, you're very free. There is too much freedom. What does too much freedom translate to? I don't want to mention these schools, but I've been. I'm not going to mention their school, but the schools I've been in, and you see, like a student doesn't even listen to a teacher. You understand? Because like the way teachers respect these kids, it's like now the kids are the teachers to the teachers. I mean, because these guys, these chaps have money, have a lot of money, and most of the people in traditional schools, the fact that they pay a lot of money, most of them, their parents are like in these positions of influence, right? So even the teachers themselves actually fear these kids because kid has money. Kid, maybe you might need him, maybe to connect you to your father, maybe you get a better job. Or the kid is the one that gave you a gig. Or you find kids having money, a kid is sponsoring a teacher for maybe a break, like, oh teacher, really you've taught us so well. How's some tip? A kid is tipping a teacher. So I mean, tell me, in that situation, in that scenario, how are you going to tell the kid what to do and what not to do?
But I think I have something in mind. Because if you are to teach in an international school,
Yeah.
then that means you're also an international
An interna-
teacher. Yes.
No, that's
Let me tell you, status attracts status. Because you will not be just a local teacher and then you go to those schools that you know the international schools. So in most of the schools, there is one school I know.
Yeah.
Teacher parks a car, student parks
Student
a
parks
car.
a car.
Every teacher, you have a car. No teacher enters that school without a master's degree.
Yeah.
Those are the international schools. That means a class attracts class.
That competition.
Yeah, it is.
And by the way, there is I think there is also a lot of trauma in those schools. Let me tell you my story. So I was at school one time in high school. So here comes my father and some other parent with his son as well. So the parent was actually pleading to their son. It's like, look, son, I'm really sorry. I don't have money these days. You know how the situation is running. So I'm going to give you upkeep for 500,000. 500k
Dang.
for a few weeks, like 2 weeks. Then when things get better, I'll come and give you more money. So really, I beg to be understood. Understood me. I'm gonna give you 500k so that it takes you like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then after this period of time, I will get you more money. Then I'll add you. I was like, what? And you know what? My dad had just given me 10k. And had just given 10k. I was like, what? Do you know what that means? Like psychologically tortures you. Feel like you don't fit in that community, you don't fit in that society. Like, and my dad was like, don't they cook here? No,
Of course, that is what any other parent would say.
no, they cook. We want money for what? this money I'm giving actually is not for eating. It's just in case maybe you lose a pen, buy a new pen. Maybe a shoe. I
Yeah.
guess you need to go to the
To the
Cobra.
Cobra.
That's the money. It's not for eating because the school prepares food.
Now that is how
So I
your
was like, there are very many people of that kind, man. The competition is too high, and you're young, by the way. You cannot like easily,
pop up.
go over out, like leave the situation as it is and understand. So I feel like it tortures a lot as well because we are not equal.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give my father to take me to a school where I fit?
Well, taking it to an international school,
No, it wasn't an international school, but it was at least
it was
a school. Yeah.
yeah, just like any other private school.
Yes. Yes.
So taking it to that school, he did not consider other people. Like he didn't want to know.
Yeah. He didn't care.
Yeah, he didn't care. So all he wanted is the best for you.
But I think it also affects your results. It affects what you do because if you're traumatized psychologically, maybe it's a visitation day and then the other kids come, pack nice rides and then sit down with their families and have this nice meal. And then here is your dad carrying a cover of bread and soda. It's like, there's enough. You see, like, there's the way it works, really, I think. I don't know, because this is really, really important. And I think in Ugandans and Africans at large, we really don't care about the mental well-being of ourselves and our children, which also has something to do with the results at the end of it all, how you perform in a school. Let's get back from this short break and then we shall talk more about now single schools and mixed schools. I know where she belongs. I know that, but we shall see. Hello, welcome back from that real quick break, and we are still continuing with our conversation of international schools, traditional schools, mixed schools, single schools, single-sex schools.
Single,
That's it.
mixed.
Where would you take your child?
Well,
Okay,
Me, I have-
start with. You have a background of a single school, right?
but me, I have a different perspective of everything.
Let's
Because
go.
me, my education, in the first place, I was in a mixed school. Then later on in high school, I went to a single-sex school.
Yeah.
And it was a really awesome experience. So I know the experience in the mixed school and a single school. So I know what it means to be there.
Yeah.
So growing up, in the first place, of course, you can take me to a single school when I'm a kid because in nursery, primary, that is the foundation of the kid.
Yeah.
That is where he is going to learn most of the things. That is where he's going to learn how to write, how to read, how to listen, because listening is also a skill. So that is why that is the foundation. So me growing, my education in the first place I was in a mixed school. So I got time to interact with each and every person. So I grew up not fearing the other sex, the other gender.
Wait, I've had that school of thought that maybe if you're from a mixed school, there's that thing that you grow up maybe fearing to approach
Yeah, there is
the other
that
gender.
fear.
Is
Yes,
it true?
it is very true. I've seen it.
I've seen
I
kids
have
from
seen
mixed
it.
schools that are wild and they don't fear.
Now it also depends. Now to a girl
Because
child.
we always have like sister schools where you go to and interact and then take out that fear, the outings.
But that is once in a while. But
Yeah.
remember, a term, I think a term has like 3 months. So that the kid, the child, grows up looking at that very gender. So they will have that fear of the other gender.
Yeah.
Most of the girls, I have seen it in my high school because in my high school I was in a single school. So the girls who had studied from a single school from their baby class, from their nursery, they were way different from
So
me.
there is when you've been in a single school, you're trying to say that there is that thing that you want to explore, to know how it works. You're like, what did I really miss?
in the
So like
single
you're
school.
trying, yes. So you want to try out those things, because there are always stories. So people make stories like, oh my god, I dated so and so in my high school. What,
Yeah.
I don't even know how they did.
Yeah,
So
so,
you-
that is a problem.
So you want like to try it out and see how is it done. So in the long run, because maybe you're now free because you're maybe at campus at college and no one is like to control you to guide you, because maybe in a mixed school when you're in high school there are teachers on your side, the administration disciplining
the
you.
matrons
Yeah,
and
so though you're
patrons.
going astray but you have someone to correct you. So now you want to explore those things when you're in a different environment,
Yeah,
which
true.
will expose you now, but you don't have a limit. So
You
I
do
think
not
that's why
have
they
the
say that people from
experience.
single schools, maybe when they go to universities, they are the ones that do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because they
So is it because maybe they weren't exposed to those things before, so they are trying to test the waters?
could be
Yeah.
because when a girl, I'm talking about a girl child because I've been with them,
Yeah.
and I'm also a girl. So girls who have studied from single schools, from their foundation life, from baby class, their nursery,
Yeah.
they grow up with some fear and some excite. They are when they move out, they are excited. They have
Yeah.
that excitement. Oh my God, I'm going to see boys. How should I look? How should I
Yeah,
dress?
yeah,
But
yeah.
if this girl who has been to a mixed school, I have seen the other gender, I have interacted with them. It is way different. I don't even care. They are normal people like me. So if it was a girl who has not interacted with boys,
Yeah.
they cannot talk to you like the way I'm
I-
doing.
I think this is the reason as to why they normally say that as a parent you have to bring up like your daughters, make them get familiar to these things, and maybe compliment your daughter, tell your daughter and son, tell you're beautiful, you're smart, you're what, so that they grow up knowing these things. Tell them I love
Yeah.
you, but if you don't say these things, then someone
Someone
else there,
else will
some
say.
other guy, some other random man will come and say that compliment, and it will look new. It will
Yeah.
sound really nice and amazing because they have not heard it from you or from
So
any
she'll
other
be
person.
excited.
Yeah, so they will trigger that excitement, and the end result may not be good for your daughter or for your son. So I think as a parent, it's very good to bring up our children, your children, your daughters and sons, telling them these words. Tell them you love them. Tell them they're beautiful. Give them the compliment. They need that power. It's actually motivation, by the way. You know, when you're going somewhere and your dad tells, oh, you're smart. So
Yeah.
you have that power instead of getting it from a stranger or someone else. So I think it's very, very important as parents to compliment our children growing up and always monitor them and see how they are doing. So it's super, super important, and I believe in the power of affirmation, especially from a parent. You know, I have a different story. The reason that's why I'm so passionate about like sharing this is because these are some of the things that I personally missed, and I know how much they affected me because of missing them. So I don't want any other person to also miss that parental care and love, because I know it from first-hand experience how it will affect you. So you need it. You really, really need it as a parent. You've got to give words of affirmation to your kids, right, Nina?
Yeah, sure. So that the kid or the child cannot grow up seeing everything is new.
Yeah.
Like everything is
exciting.
different. Like mommy and daddy have not told me this, so everything I find outside, because dear parents, you're not going to stay with your child on their right hand. You're not going to stay there. There is a
Exactly.
time when she has to go out. She has to move out into the world. Are you going to be there? Of course not. She also has a life to live alone. So all you have to do is just train up the child when they are still young. That is what the Bible says. Train up a child when they are still young, so that when they grow up, they will always remember what you have always told them.
Thank you very much, Nina. That was amazing. So, one thing that you don't know is that when I have like a conversation with Nina always, like she's trying to so be biblical.
No, not be. Really
Sometimes we end up being spiritual and having this, but I appreciate for that because it also makes me like, man, you should start now also go read the Bible and bring these references. You know, when they make a conversation and say, John chapter this and this. That's powerful. Anyway, let's run for this short break. When we come back, we shall be wrapping up our conversation. See you after this break. Nina, I watched this. I think it's the former Chief Justice. Uganda Chief Justice is called Bat Katureebe. Bat Katureebe. So there was an interview of him, and then he said that actually he's always fighting with his children not to take his grandchildren to international schools. So he believes in the power of traditional schools. He was at King's College Buddha, and he believes in that culture that it builds in you, that unity. And I believe that it still works.
Yeah.
I think there's something we really lack in those cultures that we had in traditional schools. There are really a lot amazing things that we used to enjoy that are no longer here, that we no longer have in that luxury in international schools.
Yeah, you see, in international schools, it is more like what the whites do. I don't know. I don't know much about international schools, but all I know is all about the traditional schools, and they are really good because you see, we are Africans, so there are some values that maybe you're not going to get time as a parent. You're not going to get time to tell them to your children, but at school, remember, teachers have 80% of the time with your children. So the teachers, the matrons, the patrons, they have a lot of time with your children. So they will give the basic knowledge to your kids. So which is not done in the international schools. I'm not really sure if the international schools.
I think they also do. Maybe I'm not. I think you also do your work as international schools. But what do you have to say? What do you think is the best? Could be the best really for your children? Like, I think they are all good schools, but the one will build. Childhood begins at home.
Yeah.
So I think even as most parents who take their children at international schools, they are these working figures and have all the basics, the resources they need. Sometimes maybe they don't have time to sit down with their kids, so maybe, and that's why we think that international schools don't build morals, yet it should be starting from home. Maybe that's my other school of thought, that maybe that thing that we are blaming to a certain school, or you guys blame international schools of, it's actually not the school. It's the background of a child and what a child is able to do. So I believe all schools are good. Maybe try out what could be best for you. Even kids are different, so I think child begins at home. Let parents do their roles, and let the schools roll. What do you think? But another school, but I won't say this.
Okay, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in BTV today. We really appreciate for being on Identity Talk Show with EJ today. We don't take it for granted because you are the reason as to why we wake up every day to come and have these conversations and engage you and make sure that we make it fun and enjoying. So we really appreciate you for sticking here on the show and being with us throughout this very Sunday. Every Sunday 7:30 p.m. we are always here giving you the basic conversations that maybe you may not be having out there or getting time. So we appreciate. We're always live here on BTV on channel 242, those with StarTimes antenna, then channel 483, those with StarTimes dish. We're also on Identity Talk with EJ on YouTube. You can go subscribe and watch all the content and click that notification button, click that kabel. There is a kabel. You click it and then it sounds. So when you click that kabel, you'll be receiving our notifications on whenever we release a new show. On Twitter, we are at Identity Talk with EJ. Instagram, Identity Talk with EJ. We can't wait to have you again next Sunday.